Hey, everybody. Happy Labor Day to our
What's
state's
up? It's
friends.
Labor Day.
Happy Monday to everybody else who had to go to work.
Yep.
Sorry. I think
Right.
Canada gets Labor Day, though.
Not
But
today.
I did get a lot of emails from Canadians today, like stuff to do.
I don't think they get it today.
I think they do Labor Day up there.
I thought they did it a different day.
Huh. I don't know.
Hold on. Well, let me Google.
Hey, Siri. When is Labor Day in Canada?
Oh, you can do that.
Today is Labor Day in Canada. Happy Labor Day.
Ah, see?
Happy Labor Day,
Happy
Canada,
Labor Day,
too.
Canada.
There you go. Siri has spoken.
I see that. All right. Well,
Well,
there you
happy
go.
Labor Day to all of our Canadians. It's
That's
just,
right.
I would have expected it to be about 3 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
We like it when we celebrate, something
Things
that
together.
together.
Is it Labor Day in the UK? Hey, Siri. When is Labor Day in the United Kingdom?
Oh.
May 1st, 2021 was Labor Day in the United Kingdom.
Sorry, May 1st. So,
Oh.
sorry, Simon, in the live chat. Your Labor Day was a while back. So,
Yes.
oh, Rhonda Lee, she's here with us. Yeah, it's Labor Day, but it's got a U in it, so it's
It
fancy.
does have a U in it. It is fancy. Yes.
Our Labor Day is just kind
We
of.
don't put U in things.
That's right. Like they drink like fine wines. We have like Bud Light. For our Labor
Why aren't they all the same day?
I know, dude. We all work hard. We should just all have one day. We just shut.
That's
it.
what I mean. Like, why didn't someone I don't know.
Do that?
Yeah. Can't we just agree on a date?
Nope.
No. Have you seen the world? Have you seen Twitter? No. It can't
Yeah,
happen.
I know. I stay away from Twitter. It actually drives me crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way. Okay, so let me hit this button here.
Everything's a fight. Take it to Twitter. It's a fight.
Right.
It's a fight. Let's
No,
go.
it's labor with a U. No, it isn't. It's labor with a not a U.
And we're
Anyway.
going to
Stop,
not do
Kat.
it a different day, too.
Cat.
Riley has gone back to Columbia. I am so
Oh.
sad. I know.
Aw.
She went back this morning.
You're going to have to get a dog.
No, I don't. Pam and I have decided we're not really dog people, but we do love Riley because she is so trained. Like
I
that
hate
dog.
to tell you that you're a dog person.
No, I'm a Riley person. But I thought about it. I might just have to give like Paige enough money to buy whatever kind of dog she wants, and then just take Riley.
Well, so what's funny is you and Pam would be good at having a dog because you both taught elementary school school for long. It's a lot of those same behavior techniques.
True.
Truly.
It's all about consistency and reinforcement, basically.
Yes.
Well,
Well, and it's easier with a dog because the treats.
Yes.
But I'm the same way though. Like, except for a milk bone, like give me a Reese's peanut butter cup. No,
Right.
Oh my
I
gosh,
really
did you?
didn't do anything.
And the pumpkins are out, and they're the best anyway.
Yes,
so.
they are. Oh my goodness.
So I just got back
Bite
from
me.
The eggs are pretty good too, though.
Eggs are good too.
Eggs
You're
are
right.
good too. The Reese's eggs and the trees, they're not quite as good. But
But everything's better
pumpkins?
than a standard Reese's.
everything is better than a standard Reese's. You are correct, which is sad. But also
It is.
I mean,
It is.
look, if you're gonna give me a regular Reese's, I'm not gonna, thumb my nose at it. But if you're gonna give me a choice between a pumpkin Reese's and a regular Reese's, I'm going for the pumpkin. So
Thomas, we're going to use this on the show. You only need one, but we're going to use that on the show and make it sound like 5 minutes long. So just so you know, you only need one. Okay. We love you asking. Thank you for that. But it'll be on the show once we start. I will say last story. We had a pinata. So we celebrated my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law's birthdays today because they're all within 4 days of each other. So that's where I just got back from. But so they're all obviously not kids, right? My father-in-law, mother-in-law, and sister-in-law. She's 43 or something.
nope, she's gonna.
Anyway,
hate you saying that.
we had a pinata. Dude, the
That's-
pinata was awesome. Who busted it? This dude right here. Stuff
That's
went scattered
fantastic.
all over the yard. Okay, you pinatas though usually have like really terrible candy, right?
Well, you put
Dude,
whatever.
this pinata. No, I don't know if it came prepackaged or not. Maybe it didn't. You're right.
No,
Maybe
most of the
packaged
time
it.
they do not come prepackaged.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I've never really. I can't. We haven't bought one since Paige was like 6. Anyway, dude, this thing had like caramel M&Ms, Reese's peanut butter cups, 100
Nice.
gram bars. It was because I didn't know what was in it, dude. I busted that thing. Stuff went flying. I was like, oh my god, this is good stuff. I was like, get out of my way because there were some kids there. Like Mallory
Mike
and
was
Denise.
knocking down the children. Yeah.
Knock it off.
Dang.
Get out of the
My
way.
goodness.
Yes. I was like, get out of the way. This is real stuff. We're not playing. And there were Smarties, but I mean, I just skipped over those.
Yeah. If I remember right from having pinatas as kids, like you got to fill the pinata with what you
You
wanted.
should be able to buy them pre-stuffed. I mean, come on. It should be a surprise.
Well, I mean, you should, but like then if you wanted like the whole thing to be Reese's, you could make the whole thing to be Reese's. I'm just saying.
There were a lot of cups. And my little nephew, Austin, who's 3 or 4, dude, he was destroying the peanut butter. The little, the little gold ones. He was
okay, yeah, but
stuff.
here, that was going to be my next thought. Can we just say that the mini little cups are not even close? Like
they're way better. The little ones are way better.
No, they're all tiny. The little
the
minis?
little gold ones, the mini ones taste way better than the big ones because I don't know why they're a little crunchy or like on the edges or something.
No,
oh my
what
god, I could
is
destroy
wrong
a bag
with
of
you?
those things.
No,
Yes.
they're not. They are not.
Sam,
It
where do you
goes-
fall?
it
The
goes
regular size, the mini ones. Are
Pumpkin, regular size, mini.
no, like the ones that come in the bag with the gold wrappers. Oh,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I do not like the little tiny
Thank
ones.
you.
Really?
Exactly.
I've never met anybody.
No, you know
Wow.
why? Because I honestly don't like the chocolate that's used in
Yeah,
Reese's.
and there's
I
so
like
much
the
chocolate.
shapes. Yes.
Yes.
There's so much
Really?
chocolate on those little ones.
Yeah,
The shapes have so much less chocolate
that's true.
and
You
so
know,
much more peanut
It's true.
butter.
It's true. It's true. It's true. She's
Huh.
right. She's right. That's why
Okay.
I prefer mine goes shapes, then regular Reese's, then the little minis. That's
mine
it.
probably goes minis, shapes, regular cups, but I'll eat all 3. I love them all.
I mean, I'll eat all 3. It's not like
Yeah,
it's.
so-
I'm not gonna sneeze at it like I said.
This is why you come early for the shows. This is the important stuff. Forget
This
the
is
The
totally
important stuff, yes.
solving all the
Yes.
problems of the world. All right.
It's really important stuff.
Actually, I'm going to save that there. in case
Yeah,
you-
that's
little
I
Reese's
guess gold
question.
right there.
Must be the-
Yes.
Uh,
Podcast gold. This is why we're an award-winning podcast
Correct.
right here.
Exactly. Yes.
so Reese's REESES.
REE. No C. There's no
I-
wait. There's an S.
okay.
Yeah. REESES. Yeah.
Matter as long as I can find it.
I don't know. I'm losing
Okay.
my mind right now.
All right, Kenzie, we'll get your question.
There's-
Thomas, get
is
your
there a
question.
C in
Bethany,
there?
from the-
No,
Okay.
no C's.
No. Okay. Got it.
1961. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to episode 1961 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. And I guess, even though it's not technically fall, happy fall. I know, fashion faux pas. I got on the white hat. I just realized that right now. My bad. I'll switch it out for next week's shows. I promise you. But I mean, let's face it. I'm a fashion faux pas walking just about 7 days a week. So anyway, that's why we do podcasts. And back in the day when we started our podcast, video was not a thing. And for me, that was very beneficial. This whole newfangled where you got to see everybody. Yeah, not good for this 6'3" guy. Anyway, we're here to answer your listener questions. And I'm so excited that we have the entire crew back together for the first time in just a bit. And joining me today from down in Atlanta, Georgia, where the Dogs are 1-0, much to the chagrin of our captain of our running squad, but it'll be okay. Just it's first week. You'll be fine. What's up, Ricky? She's from the mouseforless.com.
You said a lot of things that
I did.
that just
Well,
went. Phew.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
so I got to say, I was listening to the Clemson Georgia game on the way home from the Mizzou game.
I did
so-
know that they won the game, so I mean, there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a brutal offensive game, pretty good defensive game. But anyway, I'm not talking about that. But here's the thing. There's this commercial they play during Georgia football radio broadcast, like every break. And it's for some kind of roofing company.
Okay.
And so the greatest thing ever, I gotta find this commercial. This guy's, pimping out his roofs that you got to buy. Like who cares? Like who shops for a roof? Like your roof breaks, you go call somebody to put a new roof on your house. You hope you never have to do that, right? No, this guy's like telling everybody to get the roof. And the thing is, how like his tagline is, because it's Georgia Bulldogs, right?
Right.
The radio network. He's like, get your new roof.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, dude, if I needed a roof, I'd call that guy. Like if I was a
Oh,
dog, that was
no.
awesome.
I don't know.
Yeah, so,
Look, as far as roofs are concerned, I know that my neighborhood is like everybody's putting in a new roof. So like, I guess it's important to me. So, but there are a lot of roofing ads here in Georgia, I will admit. So I see them on TV all the time. So I don't know. Maybe just because of our weather and stuff like that, we need new roofs more than.
Yeah, you have storms.
Yeah,
Storm season.
Hey, that's how I got my new roof. It was Hurricane Irma. Was how I got my new roof. So it damaged mine. So I mean, hey.
I think that's how it is everywhere. Right? You wait for a hailstorm, and then the insurance comes out and you get a new roof.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how we've always been.
I mean, yeah. I've actually been impacted more by hurricanes, tropical storms, and depressions than my family in Orlando. So, who knew? Here in Georgia, it's kind of weird.
Less so here on the hurricanes, but more big hail. That's
yeah. So, but
anyway.
yeah. Oh, just to kind of go with that, our thoughts are with everybody in Louisiana. By the way, that's still dealing with all the
absolutely
stuff. Yeah,
yes. Yeah. And the Northeast. The Northeast
got hit
really
hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So many folks and having all kinds of trouble. We're always thinking of you. We got friends, so we checked in. Everybody that I know has been safe, even though some people had some damage. Important thing is everybody is safe. So we're glad to hear that. All right. Also joining us with the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, freshly returned from a 9-month vacation to Walt Disney World. Pam Forrester. She forgot where she lived when she got back in the Keystone State. What's up, Pam?
I know it seems that way sometimes, but yes. And I just want to thank so many of our listeners came up to me while I was there, even in the airport. It was so funny. And it's just so nice. We have the best listeners. It's so nice when you take the time and everyone's like, I didn't want to bother you. And I'm like, please bother me. It is very nice of you to take time out of your day to listen to us. We so appreciate the support. And it's so great to get to meet so many people. I am not the selfie king like Mike is. I never remember to take a photo or barely remember to take a photo of us, but I do appreciate it nonetheless. And it was great getting to meet so many of our listeners, and it was just overall a great trip. It's weird. These trips lately have just felt so good. And I don't know if you just wanted an escape from like your regular life, right? Is it that? Or is it just there were no crowds really at all? It was so empty. That's incredible. Of course, we don't have Fast Pass right now, so that's interesting. Just the whole thing. So lots of good stuff going on down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So jealous of folks that have been to Walt Disney World over the last like 10 days.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah.
There's like nobody there.
Seeing the empty parks and nobody there. It's just like, wow.
I know.
Crazy awesome. And also I'm regretting that I didn't have a trip planned for this time.
I know. Yeah. Seriously, one of the days we were there, it was like 4:00 in the afternoon. The wait for Soarin', 10 minutes.
No, stop. Okay. Oh.
It was 10 minutes and it wasn't even 10 minutes. We walked right on. I mean, just right after opening, we went to Slinky Dog. I just crazy is all I have to say. Crazy.
Yep.
So Friday, just so you have a little heads up, I'm going to ask you like just one or two highlights from the trip, something that stood out, because every trip's kind of got like the moment that, oh, this was cool. This happened for the first time, or this is something I haven't done in a while. So we'll hold that on Friday because we got a lot of questions to get to today. So let us start off. And Thomas Hildebrand in our live chat. We always record live on Facebook and YouTube, usually on Mondays around 5:45 Eastern. So please join us next week. He says, we have a multi-family trip coming up and we both want Memory Maker. Should we get one for both families or buy our own? Thanks, y'all. I like when people say y'all. That's all. No, so what you can do with that, as long as everybody is connected via friends and family on My Disney Experience, you'll all be able to see everybody's pictures without the watermarks. Basically what happens is, even if you don't have Memory Maker, you will see your photos. They'll be watermarked. But if a friend or family person connected via My Disney Experience has Memory Maker, you're good. So I see all of Ricky's pictures because
he sure does.
We're friends, at least on Memory Maker. No,
I see so many people's pictures when I go through. I'm like, oh, they went down. Oh, they went down. Yeah, I see so many people's pictures. Yeah.
Ricky's doing senior pictures in a Spaceship Earth dress again. Why do you know she was there? You know,
exactly.
You have a new photo. No, I don't. I'm laying in bed. Anyway, Kenzie in the live chat, she says, I'm leaving for my first Walt Disney World trip since 2014 at 1 a.m. in the morning tomorrow, and I can't wait.
Go to bed, Kenzie. Go to bed. Go to bed.
Well, you can't sleep, right? I'm too excited to sleep.
Too excited.
She says, me and my husband had a baby in 2020, so this is our belated baby moon. Pam, give them is we're the parents on the panel here. One piece of advice: they're taking a baby, so I guess the baby is, I'm guessing, under a year, obviously.
Well, if they're taking
And
the baby,
doing quick math, right? It was born in 2020. It's September 2021. I doubt the kid's 14. So there you go.
How does
So
that
give them
work?
some advice. How can they have a great trip with the baby?
If you're taking the baby, the best piece of advice I will give you is try to keep everyone on the same schedule. Try to keep everyone on the baby's schedule. So if you usually get up at a certain time, continue to do that. If you usually eat at certain times, continue to do that. If there's a nap, give it a shot. Try to make it happen. I know that the nap is probably one of the more challenging things to keep constant when you're not at home. But I think at the same time, one of the very important things, and that goes for the parents too. You're overstimulated, you're doing a lot of walking, things like that. So the nap may come in handy for that too. But that's definitely it. And the other thing is, don't let the things that the baby eats go too far right or left of what the baby usually eats, because all those are things that contribute to a baby who's not very happy. So,
and an adult. I mean, I got to eat too. And actually, she has a question follow up actually about eating. She says, my question is, though, I've heard that you have to order a lot of your food on your phone. Should I do that as soon as I enter the park for lunch? Or can I do it when I'm ready to eat? So, Ricky, how do you go about that? Because I've kind of changed over the last year my philosophy on that. I order early, have it all ready to go. Then when I'm ready to eat, I hit.
Yeah.
It's close. I can modify it if I need to.
True. I've noticed that especially during busier times like lunch times or dinner times, on the app, sometimes there is some delay. So you may want to just start thinking about it, maybe an hour or so ahead of time and be like, okay, let's order food now and get it ready. And then, while you're waiting in line or something like that, that way it's all ready to go. The place that I noticed that it's like the most difficult to order food is at night at your hotel. So if you're wanting a snack or something like that late at night and, you've gotten back to your hotel and you're like, oh, I could really go for a Mickey bar. That's when it's really difficult because, normally you just run down, grab the Mickey bar and go back to your room. Well, now you have to order in the app, and because everybody else is ordering in the app, dinner or, a snack or whatever, it's definitely taking longer at that time period. That's the part where I really have noticed it. It's during heavy peak meal times and then at night at your hotel. So I would just kind of think about it ahead of time in those instances for sure.
I agree with all that totally, because that is kind of the problem. Like if you get to where the food court closes at your hotel, you are suffering to find something to eat like after 10. Yeah. It can be a challenge. That happened to us this summer. But I will say for lunch, I would go ahead and put your order in right away and then select that time this is close to your pickup time that you think you're going to eat. And then as you get within, say, 40 minutes, 30 minutes, half hour, the time you want to eat, if you're not going to make it because you're in a longer line, you can go in there and modify your pickup time, push it back 20 minutes or so. I mean, I did that many times this summer. So Pam, any thoughts on that? I just like to have it all ready to go.
It does. Yeah, I agree. I think that, in most cases, you're going to be able to pick a time that's relatively soon, but during busier times, it's absolutely great to have it in before. And remember, your order is fully refundable up until that point in time when you click, I'm here, please prepare my order or whatever. So that's something. And I will give you a little tip for those times at night when you're wishing that you had purchased something from the food court, but the line, or the wait is a long period of time. First of all, check at the gift shop because they do have lots of snacks there. They have some chips, they have some cookies and stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. So you can check that out. And I think some of them actually have a cooler in the gift shop portion of the gift shop. It's escaping me which ones they are right now. But like definitely when you're at the vacation club resorts, there's that whole freezer section that's going to be in the gift shop. And that's where you can stop and get like a whole host of things, including Mickey bars and some other stuff like that, but definitely drinks and things like that. So that's your hack for when it's late at night and you're hungry.
And my place to go at Coronado Springs, Panchitos, that cooler's in the very back of the gift shop, very, very back corner.
Yes.
And it'll bail you out when
Yeah.
Closed.
It will. It will.
You need something sweet. Because the thing is, I always say this about Coronado. Like when you walk down that corridor, towards El Mercado from the going over towards the tower now where the check-in used to be, they put those goodies right there on that little corner with like cupcakes and all these sweets. You're like, oh, and sometimes it's closed. You're like,
I know.
hey, that's a foul. Like, don't do that to me. If I can't get a sweet, so I was going to Panchitos and get a Mickey ice cream sandwich, and the world's good.
You
You're like, I need something sweet. Oh my gosh, everything's closed. Okay, I'll get a margarita.
Right, there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Cafe Ricks. Okay, Scott's got a question. I don't know if he's this is Scott Wortman, not Scott Gardner. Not sure if he's serious about this, but he's asking. Pay for an out-of-state annual pass or a Disney cruise, because you know what? Honestly, I'll be honest. You could probably do a 3-night cruise for the price of an annual pass, maybe even a 4-night annual cruise during
this fall.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably for the price of an annual pass for sure. I'm talking without Memory Maker, people. So, I mean, Pam, there's no right answer to this. It's what you want. I mean, the annual pass is giving you that's the marathon, right? The Disney cruise is like the sprint. It's like intense fun for 3 days. It's awesome. But then you got the marathon of 365 days at annual pass. What do you think for that?
It is. And just like last year, actually, even, before the pandemic, the last time where annual passes really saw, a release in price and we came up with these different categories. It used to be, right, if you were going 7 or 8 days, the annual pass was worth it. Well, now that's really extending. You're going to need to be using that annual pass probably more like 2.5, 3 weeks, right? For you to reach that sort of break even point. And that means going into the park every day. It doesn't mean like 2 7-day vacations or things like that. So that's really something I think that people are considering. So if you didn't usually buy an annual pass, chances are an annual pass is not going to be the best thing for you now. But right now, when you're comparing the price of an annual pass or a Disney cruise, I think you do have to look at those factors, right? Are you going to be back in the next 365 days? Is this, something that is important to you, right? I know a lot of people buy an annual pass and then, plan on coming down for 2 or 3 other vacations. Other people are more casual in their attendance. If I'm comparing a Walt Disney World cruise and a Disney or a Walt Disney World vacation and a Disney cruise, here are some things I really want to think of. First of all, that Disney cruise is going to be more relaxing. And if that's what you're looking for in a vacation, then the cruise is the way to go. A Walt Disney World vacation, magical, awesome, all these different things. Relaxing, probably not in the list of things that you're looking at, right? Unless you're really planning not to go into the park certain days or really take it easy, which is hard. Once you're there, ask Mike. All caution to the wind. He's like, I'm going to take it easier this time. Does he? No.
No.
Anyways, that's what you're really looking for, is those things. And the other thing to really take into consideration is a Disney cruise is also going to include your food, where the price of an annual pass does not. So it's actually more price inclusive kind of vacation.
That is true. So let's get to the next question about annual passes. Ricky, how about this one for you? If we still have an active annual pass, the old version, which I have, do we still keep all those old perks, or does it move over to one of the new APs?
So
talk about that for Brian.
Yes. So the switchover happened actually today, the 8th. So what's going to happen is if you have a current annual pass, you will still have all the benefits of that current annual pass until your pass expires. When this will change is when it expires, then you will have to go to you'll have the perks of the new pass. The only thing that is included in the old pass is the addition of extra park pass reservation days that you're going to be able to get. So like for me, I have the premier pass. So I will right now I only have 3 days of as we're recording this, I only have 3 days of reservations that I can make. on Wednesday, when this comes out, I'll have 5 days of reservations that I can make. So that's the only change that's really happening as far as my pass is concerned. I still have the Premier Pass until I'm ready to renew it. So that's kind of how the thing works.
So you're grandfathered into your old pass
Correct.
just until it expires, till you renew. Then everybody, so 365 days from today, when the show comes out, September 8th, everybody will be on.
It should be
cool named passes.
There's a little bit of confusion right now as of this recording, as far as people who have bought the vouchers or have renewed. But true. So may not necessarily be the case. I have heard that it will still roll over, which is kind of what I'm looking for with Brian right now, renewing his pass. And his pass actually expires in October, but I think if I purchase the renewal right now, I can still get that Premier Pass. Again, this will all be null and void on Wednesday when this comes out, but yeah, that's what's going through my head right now. So
see, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. And I'll be honest, because travel agents, we don't sell annual passes. So I don't know that ticket media as much as I know Magic Your Way tickets. That's what we do.
Right.
But I would guess though, that if you have a voucher at this point after September 8th or once September 8th, I doubt you could get that old annual pass.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next.
I think.
What do you think, Pam?
Right. I think you would move into.
Yeah.
Move into one of the other passes that they will say, right now you have one of these passes or whatnot. Actually, they were like called the same thing. So
Incredipass. I'm learning that because that's the only one. I'm from Missouri and I'm not DVC.
I have
a lot of one choice. Yeah, it's Incredipass or nothing for me, buddy.
Yep, correct.
It's gonna be okay. Bob in our live chat says, hello, gang. I have a trip coming up in spring of 2022, and we're going to Epcot and Hollywood Studios 1 day each. We have not been to the world since 2019, and of course, we want to get on Rise of the Resistance. I have one park reservation for Epcot and one for the studios. I'm considering changing the Epcot reservation to a studios to double my chances at Rise. If I get Rise the first day, I would switch the second day back to Epcot. If we don't get Rise the first day, then we would have to switch. Then we would have to switch that first day to Epcot. Good plan. Of course, if Cosmic Rewind drops before spring break 2022, that will change everything. Okay, so what he's saying is he's going to have, basically, I think this is it. He's going to have the studios for the first day. So say they don't get a Rise reservation for the studios the first day. I think he wants to jump quickly over to Epcot that day and keep the second day as a studios day. Basically go in with 2 studios days as a backup. Mm-hmm. Is that doable, Ricky? I mean, can the system work out that way? It's 7:10. He knows he doesn't have it. Epcot is the park that'll have the theme park reservations the longest, typically. So that's good.
Yeah, I think.
So I guess you could go ahead.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been doing that, where if they don't get their Rise boarding pass reservation, they will switch to another park and just go that route. So that sounds like a good plan if that's what you would like to do. Go that route. You can always also try the 1:00 drop too. You may get it. Then I've gotten it a few times at the 1:00 drop that when I haven't gotten it at the 7. So, you never know which way will work. But if that's what you want to do and you want to switch it, as if you don't make it, I would switch it to Epcot, and I would keep 2. I would keep 2 Hollywood Studios reservations at that point.
And here's the thing I learned this summer is don't put an ADR on your studios days that you're like really committed to, in case you got to use the 1:00 drop and say you get it, but then you're not going to get on until say 6. Like if you because the thing is we got one at a 1:00 drop, but it wasn't going to happen until like 6 or 7, and we had a Maria and Enzo's ADR at Disney Springs with a bunch of people, so didn't do us any good to get.
Yeah, so unless you're in the studio, unless your ADR is in the studios.
Yeah, if you're in the studios, but don't plan on being somewhere else. So they're good. Yeah, it's good thought there. Okay, Lynn Wilcox, one of my great buddies and guests over at the Magic for Less Travel, he asks, are food and wine booths still walk up, or do you need mobile ordering for them too? Pam, so you were just in Epcot. How were the things with food and wine booths?
The food and wine booths are really good this year. There are just some really standout booths. And you do not mobile order to go to them. You can just walk up like you could before and do the mobile ordering. I will tell you, the little area by Test Track has sort of a pod of really good food and wine booths. There's the macaroni and cheese booth, the lobster booth, the smokehouse booth. No, not smokehouse, but it's smoky.
Flavors from Fire.
There you go.
Yes.
Fire.
Fire.
The donut one. It's all right there, right by Test Track. Plus, you have the Odyssey right there where you can get beer and pizza and wings to top it off, too. So, I mean, you're right there, that little pod. But really, just some standout food, I think, this year at Food and Wine. And it's so interesting how Disney has sort of changed Food and Wine, expanded it, made it open to more people, and created some little seating areas at different points that I think is a really great move too. So lots of good stuff going on at Food and Wine this year.
You are going to have fun, Len. October is next month. So I remember Len and I have been planning this trip forever. And like, it's crazy because these October trips are now just weeks away. You know,
they are.
Yeah.
It's been a long wait for him and his family. So I'm excited for the crew there. It's going down. All right. Sean Miranda has a question. We have a November. Let me hit this. We have a November Sunday night reservation at Topolino's after a long day at Food and Wine. Can we use the reservation for only drinks and apps or dessert? Or do we have to order a full dinner? Pam, I haven't been to Topolino's. What's the advice here?
Yeah, it is a full service restaurant. There's no rule against only ordering that. I think right now the restaurants are not at capacity, especially at Topolino's. It is not at capacity at this point. There's still a lot of distancing going on, and I felt like some tables were removed definitely when we were there. So you can do that. There's also a bar area, so maybe that's something that you're going to want to advise the hostess when you arrive, that you're only interested in having drinks or drinks and apps, or you're only interested in having drinks and desserts, things like that. Maybe they'll seat you in the bar area. So
that's a good tip. That's what I would do if it was me, just because it's more casual. But yeah, I mean, I bet you people do this all the time. I mean, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. Kevin has a question. Ricky, we talked about this with Dr. Kai on Twitter earlier this week. Will the Lightning Lane be used for both Genie Plus and paid attractions? For example, Flight of Passage. Sorry, all the abbreviations got me there. So that lane that is, and you've seen the signage go up, right? Especially around Epcot. Now, I mean, it's kind of scary when you see Lightning Lane at Living with the Land. That just proves it's the best attraction at Walt Disney World.
Correct.
So who goes in? Is Lightning Lane only? Well, it can't be, right? Because I mean, is Living with the Land going to have a Lightning Lane?
Yes.
I mean, somebody pay. I know it's awesome, but is somebody paying $34 a person to go see watermelons? I mean, come on.
Okay. So I think we had some confusion between us last time we talked about this, because you got me confused because you said the Lightning Lane was only. It was totally you because I had it right. You thought the Lightning Lane was the lane of the individual paid attractions. It is not. The Lightning Lane is going to be for both Genie Plus and the individual attraction access. So yes, Living with the Land will have a Lightning Lane because Living with the Land will be one of the attractions as part of Genie Plus.
Right.
Yes, it will not be an individual attraction access attraction. There's only going to be 2 to 3 of those attractions in each park. That's not going to be one of them. It's at Epcot. It'll probably be, well, we know it's going to be Romy's Ratatouille Adventure. And then it'll probably be Frozen or Soarin' or Test Track or one of those attractions. So those will be the 2 to 3 light or individual attraction access attractions. So those will have Lightning Lanes as well. So the Lightning Lane, just think of it this way. The Lightning Lane is the old Fast Pass lane. That's all it is. It's just been renamed. Instead of the Fast Pass lane.
Okay. I get what you're saying. But that is so confusing. Like that is.
Why is that confusing?
Here's the thing though, because I mean, they're calling Lightning Lane is that not the term for the flexible price? Is that not what they're called. What's that called? Okay, because now
right
I know
now,
you're
it's just individual attraction access. It's not. It doesn't have a name, which I
Okay,
actually am
everybody's been
surprised
talking about
about.
Lightning Lane being the two headliners that you pay the $17 to ride. That's not called Lightning Lane.
No, the Lightning Lane is the
But-
old Fast Pass Plus lane.
The thing that I think is confusing is that a ride is not going to have individual attraction access and
Genie Plus.
and the other. It's going to be one or the other.
Correct.
If you're paying to have the individual attraction access, it is not going to be available to everyone
Correct.
to use that access. I mean, because otherwise, why would you pay for the individual attraction access, right?
Right.
Unless you know, so that's going to be limited. So basically, those attractions are going to be either standby line or you're going to pay for the individual attraction. The other attraction, you're also going to have the option to use the whatever, that access that is included as part of your Genie Plus, or you can do the standby line as well. So you're either going to do standby and the individual paid attraction for those that are available for that,
Correct.
or standby.
and or Genie Plus. Yes.
Okay, so let's give an example, a couple examples here, just to make things clear as mud, because that's what we're doing here today. Okay, so Rise the Resistance, for example. So they're going to have the individual.
Correct.
We're guessing where you can pay for access, variable pricing, depending on all the factors. Or now this one you won't have a standby. It's probably
You'll have the virtual queue. Correct.
Right? Okay, so that's how that would work.
And the individual attraction access will enter the Lightning Lane.
Okay.
Entrance.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so like Living with the Land, however,
Correct.
will not have the variable pricing
Correct.
option available. You'll have standby or you'll have Genie Plus.
Correct.
Right.
Genie Plus people will be in the Lightning Lane.
Yes, you
Good
will
job.
enter.
All right.
Yes, you'll enter. You'll
God,
enter
this is
through the Lightning
confusing.
Lane. It's not that confusing, but I can understand the confusion because we've had different terminology for everything.
Yeah.
Forever, so
And Disney is always coming up with new terminology, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
yes.
first of all, every time we get an event now, it has a different name.
Of course, yes. And it's got a
and even
really long name. It's
right?
Not, it's
Yes.
Not short. Yes.
Right. Right. It's crazy. We're always learning a new Disney term. And then of course, as you type it on the internet, it gets an acronym.
Yes.
So then you have to learn that
Right.
as well. So how much of our brain is being used up by either Disney words or Disney acronyms?
Too much. Yeah, I know too many things that are really, in the grand scheme of things, never going to help me survive in the real world.
Right? Yes.
Just how it is. So, okay, important here. Okay, so let's take another example. Impressions de France, one of the best attractions at Epcot. That will have a standby
Yes.
or a Genie Plus.
No,
Lightning Lane.
it won't because Impressions to France.
Yeah.
No, that won't have. It doesn't have a fast pass lane now. So
All right,
no,
you're right. It doesn't.
It's
That's
just
right.
standby.
I know that was a trick
Yeah,
question.
don't screw people
That-
up like that. That's just standby. Stop that.
It
Good
did
question.
have a fast pass line for a little bit though, or something.
Did it?
There was
Good.
there was.
I think it was just people leaving the attraction because they thought they were
No.
going to be because they thought they were going to see the Beauty and the Beast one. That's
No,
awful.
that's right. That's right.
They were
This
like,
summer,
oh, it's not Impressions
Yes.
to France. It's the Beauty and the Beast show. Never mind. We're out.
everybody's like, "Oh, I thought there was the Be Our Guest podcast in there." Oh, just a sing along. Forget that.
Sing
I
along,
thought
no,
it was
we're
Mike
good.
and Ricky.
Not
and an
that.
occasional Scott. No, it wasn't. But I will say, here's the thing: this summer, man, I kept wanting to see Impressions of France because I love the music. I just love that it's nostalgic. I love seeing that sign outside that changes. Just kept saying "Beauty and the Beast sing along," "Beauty and the Beast sing along," and I kept telling Pam, "I'm like, we walked by here like 3 or 4 times. Like it's always the Beauty and the Beast sing along. It's supposed to alternate." We went up. They're like, "We forgot to change the sign. It's Impressions of France." I'm like,
No.
"What? I can't walk past your
You had one job. What
No,
else are
it's
you
fun.
doing?
I was so fired up, but I was glad I got to see Impressions of France. But like, hit the button.
Oh
It's
my
false.
goodness.
Anyway, let's get to a question from the inbox because that was just clear as mud. So let's see how we confuse people again. This is from my good guest Betsy over at the Magic for Less Travel. She says, "Princess Weekend Resort question. Hey, BOGP crew. So I finally did it and signed up for Princess 5K. The 10K was sold out for myself and my daughter. She's been asking for 2 years to do this for her 10th birthday, which is in February. So how can I say no?
Oh.
Along with her big birthday, I'm also having a big birthday in January. So I wanted this to be a fun girls' birthday weekend. I'm trying to decide which resort to stay in. We love Grandestino Tower, but I've never stayed at Port Orleans Resort. So I was thinking, since it's Princess Race weekend, I should go with a princess room. I don't know how much longer she will be all about the princesses, but I know my time is running out for that. Is there a resort that makes it easier on a race weekend? Should I go with an Epcot resort? We love all of them, so we are open to what's best or easiest. This is our first race weekend, so we can't wait. Hoping to meet up with some of the lizards. Thanks so much. Have a great week, Betsy. Yes, do meet the lizards before all the races. We meet by the L bag check. Look for the bright greenish, what a lizard colored shirts. You can't miss us. And we all say hi. Then we walk to the cross together. So it'll be fun. We are, spoiler alert, we're talking about French Quarter and Riverside, doing a resort review on this podcast. So stay tuned for that because they're reopening very soon to get you in the mood for that. So I do run a lot of the races. I would say that it used to be you had to think about it because this is, again, God, I feel so old doing all this stuff. I got the lightning lanes making me feel like I'm like 90. Because I'm like, look at the day we didn't have a lightning lane. We just went fast pass and we were happy. And we didn't have fast pass actually. We had paper fast passes. We had them on a chisel. Our tablets came with a rock and a chisel. Anyway, back in the day, you had to be careful because not all the Walt Disney resorts had resort transportation. Seriously, I'm that old. Like if you stayed in Animal Kingdom Lodge, well, one time I stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, it was not a host resort. I had to take a cab. I'd never been in a cab in my life. And the cab driver, I told him, like, dude, the race started at Wide World of Sports. I told the cab driver, I'm like, I'm going to miss the start. And I paid all this money for this race. Cab driver literally went up on the sidewalk and dropped me off.
Nicely done.
I felt like I was in like the Amazing Race. It was amazing. Anyway, right now, all the resorts are host resorts. You don't have to worry about that. The Riverside Resort or the Riverside and French Quarter work out great for race weekends. You're very close to Epcot. A lot of people say, oh, I want to be in an Epcot area resort. Let's say like a beach, a yacht, or a boardwalk for a race weekend. But here's the thing you got to consider now that you didn't have to consider before the races ended because of COVID in this post-COVID era. Now with theme park reservations, this is something that's very, very tricky. Say I was staying at Boardwalk and I finished the marathon in the parking lot for Epcot.
Yes.
As an annual pass holder, I would just walk through Epcot back to my room. Now I got to have a theme park reservation to get into Epcot to walk back to my room. Mm-hmm. That's another little wiggle in the thing you got to think about this time. So I would say just pick the resort. And I like the idea of the princess room, princess weekend. That's a lot of fun. Pam, Ricky, anything else? I like that.
No, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, I agree. I think those rooms are so cute. Really and truly. I mean, I remember the first few times that I stayed in, probably every time I've stayed in the princess room, the button that set the fireworks off on the headboard, it was liberally used, I will say. When I was there, I was, it's just very, very cool. How often do you get that? So yeah, I think so too. And if your daughter's into princesses, take advantage of it for sure. Yes.
Dig a little deeper. That's all I got to say, Ricky.
That's right. It'll be part of your world. I'm just saying. Yeah. I know it's not, just
what rooms are you staying in? You're an art of animation. Like she didn't bring up art of animation.
Exactly.
I was going with the Disney princess theme, not the Princess Tiana theme.
So confused. Okay.
Princess Tiana's like, hey,
I do love
those are my rooms.
I do love myself some Princess Tiana though, so I'm not gonna lie. I do love Princess
Tiana said you were almost there.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
I just know that because we played a lot of Disney music trivia on the cruise a couple of weeks ago. Keeps you going. That's how you kind of remember your songs. Okay, last question of the day. It is from the inbox. It is from Andrea. She says, hey, Mike, Ricky, and Pam, longtime listener and just love the podcast. You make my long walks so enjoyable and get me so excited for my next trip. So thank you for all you do.
Hey.
Thank you, Andrea. We appreciate that. We're glad you listen. I have a few questions that I'm hoping you can help me figure out the best transportation strategies for the Magic Kingdom. My best friend, 17-year-old son, and 14-year-old daughter, are headed to the world the last week of October for my friends and mine 50th birthdays. And to celebrate those momentous occasions during Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, it's a bucket list trip for us in a lot of ways. We're staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I have reservations to rent a car. Here are my questions for our Magic Kingdom days during the time that we're there. 1, we have Boo Bash tickets for Halloween night.
Nice.
How cool is
Oh,
that?
go you.
What mode of transportation do you think is best from the Animal Kingdom Lodge to the Magic Kingdom for Boo Bash? While we have the car, I understand parking at the TTC and getting to the Magic Kingdom can be time consuming, but don't know if the Animal Kingdom Lodge buses would be worse. I say take the bus every time, but Pam, you rent a car every time. So now do you concur with this?
No, I 100% do. Magic Kingdom is absolutely the place where you're going to want to use Disney transportation. It just is. When you park at the TTC, I will tell you, Disney at the end of park closing is so good about getting buses through there. Like, we had mentioned this on a previous podcast, just like in the morning, although the line seems to be very, very long when you walk out first thing in the morning to go, Disney is so good at having a number of buses show up and get you to the parks. And they do exactly the same thing when the parks close at night. So I think you're going to be good. The other thing about, I will say, the parties is that people are not all leaving at the same time. So that's something to consider, that there's going to, there's not maybe going to be a huge crowd when you decide to leave. So.
Well, in general, with the hard ticket events, you don't have as many people leaving anyway.
True.
Because it's not like, 9 o'clock close or something.
Also,
I
was going to throw in the Magic Kingdom parking, because I have to do it quite frequently driving myself. Right now, obviously, since there are no trams, you have to walk to the TTC, so from the parking lot, which can be quite a hike right now. So just keep that in mind. Depending on where you're parking, it can definitely be a hike. Then you have to get the transportation to the Magic Kingdom. So I would absolutely do the bus as well. If I could do the bus from my apartment down there, I would, but I cannot. So I would 100% do the bus, because it is kind of a very long trek, and especially at the end of the night when you're just tired and ready to leave. And I'm just like, oh, it's so far to get to my car. So I would 100% take the bus.
It is. You don't even feel like driving, actually. I think that's one of, at night, like, the buses are sort of like a blessing in that if you're tired and you've been there all day, you're like, oh my gosh, I can just get on the bus and sit down. I don't have to drive. I don't have to think about it.
Yes.
I'm just there and can veg out until they deposit me at my resort hotel.
And I think the Animal Kingdom Lodge bus has a killer background loop they play on your way home late at night, when it kind of puts now Riverside's is the best. It's like crickets.
Nice.
It's like nature sounds. So you're just
that's cool.
That's what I use on like my Amazon device every night before I go to bed. Like those kind of sounds, like, like a rainforest or something, and puts me out. So yeah, but I think it has that too. So there you go. Turn off the lights, a little background music, you're out. And okay, our last question. On our departure day, we're going to the Magic Kingdom. We plan to rope drop anything we didn't see at Boo Bash or during the extended hours the first night we arrive. We'll be taking the car from Epcot over. However, we should leave the park around noon to head to the airport to give us sufficient time to return the car and deal with security. Transportation strategies this day: car, Uber, Lyft, bus. Thanks so much. Okay, so I'm going to read that one more time. So on the departure day, they're going to the Magic Kingdom. They're going to rope drop anything they didn't get to do at the party at the Boo Bash. Okay, so that's that. So, and then it says we'll be taking the car from Epcot over.
Wait.
So they have to leave the park around noon to head to the airport. So I guess they're going to have all their stuff in the car, and just, I don't know about the Uber or Lyft kind of thing.
No.
Would you drive? So that's what she's asking is, would you leave the car back at Animal Kingdom Lodge, bus to the Magic Kingdom, bus back to Animal Kingdom Lodge to grab your car to head to the airport? Or would you maybe use... Yeah, see, the thing is with Magic Kingdom, there's no good way to catch an Uber or Lyft.
No.
I would do a bus.
I would
probably leave the car back at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
I would drive and park at the Magic Kingdom.
You would drive to the Magic Kingdom and just go straight from there?
Correct. Yes. Because I think that transportation wise, it's going to take a lot longer to get back to the hotel than it would to, just go to your car. That's what I would do. I would drive to the Magic Kingdom that last day. That's what I would do.
Would you love him to have your car right there at the TTC so you can head right out after?
I don't know.
Head to the airport?
I'm wondering, are you going to have things in your luggage that you wouldn't want sitting in the
Valid.
trunk? When it's whatever degrees
Right.
hot.
I did think about that too. Yes.
That I don't know. I really think too, again, for the reasons we talked about earlier, you still have to take transportation from the Magic Kingdom back to the TTC and then walk to your car. Although when you go in the morning, your car is going to be much closer because you were there when a parking lot opens. I still think literally the ride from Magic Kingdom back to Animal Kingdom on the bus is not that long. So
I just feel like you'd have to leave the Magic Kingdom so much earlier to get back to,
no matter where you are.
Well, yeah, but I feel like I don't know. To me, it feels like you'd have to leave so much earlier to get back to the Animal Kingdom because you never know when the bus is going to come in the first place. I know Disney's pretty good about it, but you don't
be around lunchtime because there's not as many buses midday as there are, say,
exactly. So you may have to wait a while for your bus. That's why I said I would just park at the TTC and then go from there. Cause I feel like the amount of time that you'd spend waiting for the bus and getting back to Animal Kingdom is going to be way, way longer than it would to just take transportation and go back to the TTC or, to go back to the TTC to go back to your car. So that's why you'd have to
get to the Magic Kingdom earlier though, because by parking the car, you got to deal with the monorail.
Yeah.
You're just trading time up front for time later in the day.
I would rather have the time later, but that's just me.
Good point. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, that's going to do it for today's show. Don't forget today's episode, as always, brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Drop on by today. You got this newfangled browser. You might even have a tablet that's electronic and not just stone and a chisel. Yes. You just got to type in www. I remember you can tell ads are old when they say www or HTTP. Just type magicforless.com. It'll take you to a great landing page with lots of cool pictures and resort guides and all kinds of links to not only Walt Disney World, Disneyland information, Disney Cruise Line information. There's even Universal stuff on the page. You can check out all the great stuff that you wanted to know about to go on your next vacation. It gives you a great landing point. You can say, hey, everybody, come over and check out these pictures of the Riviera. Mike calls it the Riv, but it's actually called the Riviera. And it's got this big tower. It's got a Skyliner. It's got a killer breakfast sandwich down at Primo Piatto. And all of a sudden you're like, we got to stay here. We're going in October. Let's do it. Once you're there, fill out the quote form, mention the show. You and I are planning it together. I tell you, have a good time. Tell me how the sandwich was. And tell Buzz I said hello. All my guests know I always tell you that. Tell Buzz Mike said I'm coming soon. So anyway, drop by the magicforless.com. We'll plan that trip for you. No extra cost to you. And I promise you, we'll get you the best price possible and have a great time in that trip planning. Again, the magicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. One extra click means a lot to us. And thanks to our patrons for allowing us to put this stuff out all over the world 3 to 4 times a week. We love doing the show. We love getting to meet friends all around the world. And it's because of your support. And if you like a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest every week, just visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Follow Ricky on the social media at Ricky Nibs. Follow Pam at TMFLTPam. I'm at BRGuestMike. And of course, you can follow at BRGuestPod as well, Instagram and Twitter. And join us this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. It's called the BOGP Open Line, but a lot of us just call it You, Me, and Scotty G. We take your calls. We talk Disney. We have a great time every Sunday night. Once Scott talks about his golf game for about 3 minutes, and then I promise you, we get to the Disney stuff. And I talk about college football for about 3 minutes, but then we get to the Disney stuff. It's very casual. We have a good time. So join us this Sunday night. But until we get together again on Friday, where we're talking French Quarter, Riverside, Port Orleans, the Sassagoula River. This is my jam. I can't wait for Friday's show. Hope you can't either. We'll see you real soon. Well, I said that too soon for Pam and Ricky. I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Unfortunately, it's time to get back to work. But until we get together again, we'll see you real soon. That was a mess at the end because I had to sneeze.
Don't sneeze. Okay, I'll be right back.
Edited. That was a good one. Boom. I'll pull up the resort guides. Pop Century. Nope. The resort guides on the Magic for Less's website are awesome. And I'm glad you changed the picture for Caribbean Beach, whoever did that.
Is it on the Magic for Less or the Mouse for Less? The Magic?
I always link to the Magic for Less ones. I love those ones. I used to link to the Mouse for Less ones, but now for the last year, I've been using the Magic for Less.
Yeah, well, everything got updated. Did you see like the whole site? Like Stacy did a bunch of it. So
no, but the old picture, like up until about a month or two ago, the Caribbean Beach was like an old picture, but now that picture rocks with the Skyliner over Aruba and Jamaica. Oh, I want to take.
Aruba.
It's like that. You should play trivia. What color? What village are the yellow buildings at Caribbean Beach? What village? Let's play it in the live chat. Here we go, because Ricky, I guess, disappeared. I don't know where she went. Live chat. You can help us.
Mumbling.
Let me see. What building? What village are the pink buildings at Caribbean Beach? You're on the clock. Tick, 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 tick. Pink buildings, Caribbean Beach. What village? See who gets it. While we wait for Ricky to reappear.
I don't know what color the buildings are.
I only know because I just stayed in them this summer.
Oh. Well, that's sort of cheating.
That is sort of cheating. And then I know the ones next door because they're right next door. It is not Kokomo. Good try, Tim. Down in Kokomo. But I will tell you that it is the first place mentioned after the word Kokomo in the song. There she is.
Aruba.
Dude, I'm so excited. There's college football on tonight. Yes. Ole Miss in Louisville. You back? I looked up. You were gone. I'm not paying attention tonight very well.
That's okay. I was like, I need to use something.
Okay, so here's the question I threw out to the chat that nobody has gotten yet. Trivia. We were playing trivia while you were gone.
Okay.
What village are the pink buildings at Caribbean Beach?
Oh gosh.
Nope.
I didn't stay there. Yeah, that's it. I didn't stay there. I know that. Because I stayed in Jamaica.
What color is Jamaica?
Jamaica is like an orangish color.
Nope.
It's like a yellow orangish color.
It's yellow. Okay, so the yellow is Jamaica.
The pink ones are Barbados?
Nope.
Oh.
Aruba.
Aruba.
What color is Martinique?
God's sakes, I don't know.
Blue.
Oh, okay.
Barbados, I think, is orange. Like,
possibly.
It's down. Yeah, it's in the. And then what's the pirate rooms? They're in.
Those are in Trinidad?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're red, I think.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Anyway, there you go. That's your trivia for today.
That's my trivia for the day. Okay, cool.
Oh wait, and I have Caribbean Beach pulled up. We're doing French Quarter.
Yeah, we're not doing. Don't screw us
I
up.
like that picture. We'll do French Quarter first because it's quaint.
Mm.
And with the black buildings, if you're in the black buildings at Caribbean Beach, probably did something wrong. Because like you're probably backstage.
Mm.
You're probably like in the laundry room or something. I don't know. I've never seen them. You definitely want to be in a pastel colored building.
I'm gonna say that's the truth. Yeah. Okay. Are we pulling up the most for less or?
You do either. I'm doing the Magic for Less just because I like it.
Thanks, Mike.
I like the Mouse for Less too. Oh, I haven't looked at the reason. Here's the reason I use Magic for Less. There's no ads on that side.
I'm just teasing you.
It just looks cleaner, which I understand why there's ads on the Mouse for Less.
Yes, exactly. I'm just teasing you, Mike. I'm just teasing you.
I'm not trying to dog on you. I'm your biggest fan. Well, besides your mom.
The biggest fan.
Besides your mom. There's a lot of information on the Mouse for Less. Dude, that is a lot.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I look at it, I'm like, dude, Chippendale, Movies Under the Stars. Okay. I mean, that's a place to go. I got a migraine headache. I can't go with that right now.
I spelled Port Orleans wrong.
I
added an E at the end of Orleans.
This makes it fancy and Canadian.
It was fancy.
Oh yeah, look at it.
I was like, oh,
all right, here we go.
Fancy spelling.
1963. Here we go. Cool. I get to use my Riverside background loop. Yes. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 1963 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Probably didn't even know it was Friday here in the States. You're like, wait, it's Thursday. Nope, it's Friday. It was a 4-day work week. So congratulations. Take another 2 days off. After you get through today, work hard, and then have a good weekend. Today, we're going to do one of my favorite kind of shows. We are going to hop in and talk about two, not one, because one would be what a regular podcast would do. We're giving you two. We're going to talk about two great Walt Disney World resorts because these old friends have been kind of just taking a vacation. Speaking of vacations, these two resorts just got up and left us for the past couple of years, and boy, do I miss both of these places. And I'll tell you why. I have a few reasons that you might not think about as to why Disney's Port Orleans resorts are a great place to hang your hat or your Mickey ears or even your running sneakers. It's a great place to go. So today, to go down to the bayou or whatever we have, or down to Nolans, we're going to have a good time with this. We have Ricky. She's from the mouseforless.com, and she is definitely not drinking coffee right now as we're recording. What's up, Ricky?
I'm almost there, Mike. I'm almost there.
So you got it. Now you got it. That's cool. There you go. A little Tiana. Okay.
See, there you go. You know what? I'm ready for a great Friday / Saturday / Sunday. So let's get this weekend kicked off all right by talking about Port Orleans resorts. I am so excited. So excited.
That's what we're doing. I can't wait either. We're heading out to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, how's it going? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It's going great. I just looking forward to I know it just seems like I just got back, but I am taking a short Disney cruise soon.
Of course.
I know, right? You have to take advantage of right now the ships with hardly any people on them.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I know, right? It's going to be like when Walt Disney World first opened up. So looking forward to that, putting some final touches on all of that. So
Nice.
Exciting.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right. So let's first thing before we even jump into this. Somebody calls you today from Disney and they're like, guess what? You get a free stay this weekend. Pack your bags. You get to go and you get to stay either at French Quarter or Riverside this weekend. But you got to pick one right now on this call. And you can't phone a friend. You can't do a 50-50. None of that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire stuff. You got to all of a sudden it's like tick, tick, they got 10 seconds. You got to tell me. Which one are you picking between French Quarter and Riverside? Ricky, which one are you picking? You got 10 seconds.
I am picking French Quarter, and the reason is the fact that that is the resort I haven't stayed at yet. So I'm picking French Quarter.
Okay, that's a good answer. Okay, Pam, what about you? All of a sudden, Disney calls, tick, 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 tick. You can't go to your cruise. You got to go to one of the Port Orleans resorts. Where are you staying?
I am actually going to stay at Riverside, and I'll tell you why. Because it's hot right now and you're going to be in the pool a lot, and Riverside has not only the main pool, but it also has some quiet pools, which I think are a big plus to have at the Disney resort. So that's why I'm going to pick that one.
And I will hold off on mine to break the tie here in just a bit. But we're gonna start off by talking about Disney's Port Orleans French Quarter Resort with a little background here. I'm going to be a little historian. And did you know, because this is one of the things that I find interesting. I love like the backstory. I love that Art of Animation at one point was just that scary looking side that didn't get finished at Pop Century. I remember those days when you'd look across the hourglass and you're like, what's going on over there? It looks a little scary. So, now it's a great resort. It's vibrant. It's people everywhere. It's awesome. Port Orleans French Quarter used to be called Disney's Port Orleans Resort. That's what its name was. And this was, I don't know if any of the other resorts, but after the 2020 9/11 attacks in 2001, this resort was also shuttered for quite a long time. Pam, is that not right? I think this resort went down for a long time. Like it was out of the inventory, just like it was now.
Yeah, it was. It was one of the resorts that just wasn't reopened for a period of time because it just didn't need to be. So yeah, You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I mean, it's the smallest Walt Disney World resort room wise.
It is.
Place. Okay, let me give you the description that we have on the Mouse for Less. You can check out the resort guides. I talk about them all the time in the ads. I'm not kidding. Go by, check them out. They're awesome. It says the festivity of Mardi Gras. Intricate railings, cobblestone streets, and courtyards of flowers capture the spirit and romance of New Orleans French Quarter. Dine on Creole delicacies, plunge into Doubloon Lagoon with its fantastic water slide, or relish the Mardi Gras atmosphere. Dazzling detail, bayou excitement, and all that jazz can be had for a song. Whoever wrote that, that's pretty good. And whoever wrote that was trying to trip me up with all those big fancy words. And I'm just saying, you don't have to wear LSU attire when you stay at Port Orleans French Quarter, but it is recommended. I'm just saying, if you're dressed like Ed Orgeron, or you have on some LSU stuff, bonus points for you for French Quarter. So Ricky, let me ask you the French Quarter. When I gave you that kind of quick little one hit there of what Disney describes it as, what comes to mind when you think of French Quarter?
Definitely Mardi Gras. Just the feel of that resort is overwhelmingly, fun and lighthearted, and it's just all the bright colors, and you've got the masks and everything, all the things that resemble Mardi Gras are so prevalent here. That's immediately kind of what I think about when I think of this resort. I also think about how small it is. You're right, it is one of the smaller moderates, of course. And I really enjoy that fact too, that it's such a small and quaint resort. And I think quaint is like the perfect word for it.
So Pam, and I agree with everything you just said, everything right on. Let me ask you this, Pam. Okay, here's what I'm thinking about Port Orleans French Quarter. Let me see if I'm right. I would say it's one of the least Disney themed resorts on property. However, it's one of the best themed resorts on property. But what I mean is, you don't see a lot of Disney like you would at Pop Century, Art of Animation, some of those resorts. But I would say the theming of this resort, because it is trying to go for the New Orleans French Quarter feel, and it like oozes it with the music, the hitching posts on the little cobblestone streets, the beads that you get sometimes when you check in, the doubloons. The theming is like, I mean, if you're going theming, this is 10 out of 10.
It is. And I think that one of the things that really hit that home for me, one of the first times I was staying there, was we were walking through the resort in the evening. I think actually we had gotten there in the late afternoon, and, we had gotten to our room and unpacked and just were like breathing that sigh that you breathe when you're on vacation, right? Okay, I'm here. And it was dusk. And we were walking through, and the trees have this moss covered on it, right?
Yeah.
Like you would see in New Orleans, all that Spanish moss hanging from the trees. It was just getting to be dusk, and we're walking through literally what are these little roads that take you through there, right? These cobblestone brick roads that take you through what really looks like streets and houses with like balconies on it. And it just felt so much like New Orleans. It really, truly did. And I think that was part of I was like, oh my gosh, now I know why people love this resort so much, right? It really does transport you and gives you that kind of feeling. It has the jazz playing. Even the food court has those big masks that are used for Mardi Gras that are there in the food court. They really do a good job of having some food items in the food court restaurant that are unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
The beignets,
Yep. Oh, yes,
you find those there.
Oh, so
Yeah, right. They also have at night in the lounge. Now, this is pre-pandemic, of course, and we hope to see this again, but they had live music that was playing there too, that again, just sort of added to that. And when you walk in, the main lobby is sort of in this atrium building, right? It's all glass at the top, and it really lets light in. And you have sort of a fountain there where you can toss your doubloon, of course, that you received in that fountain. Mike's right. This is a resort that is really just themed. It follows the theme that it's supposed to. And they did a great job with it.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say French Quarter, real quick. I would say if you're honeymooning and you're not trying to break the bank on the honeymoon, which some people are, right? I mean, it's your honeymoon. This is your chance to maybe stay at the Polynesian or stay, club level at the beach club. I get it, right? But say, you have limited means, but you want to have a nice Disney honeymoon. This is where I would go. I mean, it's just when you're, especially at night, we talk about Walt Disney World at night in the theme parks, but when you're walking through French Quarter in these little cobblestone streets, jazz music playing, they look like gas lights, I mean, just like in the old days, man, this place is, I mean, I'm not the romance expert. I mean, I'm like an 8 out of 10 on romance. If you've got to ask me, just trying to, not tooting my horn here, but I know romance when I see it. This place has it. I mean, it's like you got to kind of wipe it off. It's like Field of Dreams, where like you got to wipe the memories away from your skin. It's so thick.
Romantic is exactly the other word I was going to give. French Quarter. Maybe not you, but French Quarter. Yes.
It is. Okay, so let's hit the rooms, okay? Because people want to know about. Okay, so that's the theming. It's really, really, and it's cool because like all the, it's got the standard kind of like big buildings, but like every room, like every door is a different color, which makes it almost look like like New Orleans. I mean, it's like that's a crazy touch. Like they didn't just like color like this section of that, that building. This floor, all the doors are red. These are purple. Nope, it's like every other door is a different. It's so cool. It's so cool, and it looks different. Okay, so. Rooms, Pam, recently renovated. So this is a place to look at. However, here's the difference between French Quarter and Riverside. They don't have the 5th sleepers here. At least they didn't before pre-pandemic. And I don't know that they will.
They don't. So rooms accommodate up to 4 guests and 1 child under 2 in a crib, 2 or under in a crib. So remember that. But they have a feeling of this is how this room should feel, right? It is not over the top Disney themed. It just really isn't. So if that's what you're looking for, you're going to want to consider maybe one of the rooms over at the sister resort at Port Orleans Riverside, or one of the other things, one of the other resorts that have these storybook rooms that we talk about every now and then. The other thing is you're going to have 2 queen size beds. So that's going to be typical for you. There will be a small table with chairs. There's a dresser area. The television is there. And in the bathroom, then you'll have a vanity area with 2 sinks, and a door separates that vanity area from the shower area. That's one of the things I think that Disney has done so well, right? That split bath in most.
I mean, because right. I mean, because like I'm the dad and I have 2 daughters and a wife like that. I'm not kidding. Right. Like, I mean, because you just have like curtains, and the curtain was the greatest invention for a while. I'm like, okay, cool. I can like throw on my clothes real quick while everybody like stay in there,
right.
You think it's not a big deal, but it's practical. It helps.
It does. It helps everyone get ready in the morning. And like Mike said, not only is the vanity area sort of separate from the toilet and shower area, but you can also close the curtains to the rest of the room. So that really gives you some privacy as well there. A few things to note is, first of all, none of the rooms are going to have a private balcony, right? They all have an exterior entrance that leads onto this sort of shared balcony area. So keep that in mind. If that's important to you, then you'll want to consider maybe a different resort. You're also going to want to think about the room view that you have, right? You have the standard room, which could be a view of the parking lot or something else that you may not want to see. You can have the garden view room, which will give you more of a garden feel. And then, of course, the water view room, which can be at this resort of the Sassagoula River, right? Or the pool area. And one other thing we have to talk about, and we will when we get to that point, but the recreation options, the area for the kids to play has been redone recently too. So
yeah, there's like a full-on playground right next to the pool, which is, if I was a kid, because like when I was a kid, again, this is continuing on from Wednesday. When I was a kid, the best playgrounds were at McDonald's, and they were outside where the slide would get 198 degrees.
Yes, and you burn.
My parents dressed me in those little like shorts from Kmart that were like red with like a white stripe on the side, and like they weren't very long, so like you got roasted going down that slide, being inside the Hamburglar jail.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a nice playground. The kids are spoiled. It's too good.
I miss the Hamburglar jail.
You sit on like those high guys and bounce up
Yes.
and down.
Yes.
It is. This playground is like, you could charge admission for this. Well, you are, because you're paying to stay at the resort, but it's awesome. Kids have it good. Okay, real quick, let's talk about the dining. We mentioned it quickly. It has a nice food court with lots of options called the Sassagoula Float Works. Very good. Okay, here's one strike against this one. And I don't think this is the case at Riverside. At least it wasn't. You know where I'm going with this. French Quarter has a freestyle Coke machine. It has 2 of them. At least it did. And I hate those things. Oh my God. You get an 8-year-old making a soda at a freestyle machine, come back in 20 minutes, because they're gonna make the world's most crazy soda, and you're gonna dehydrate while you wait for that 8-year-old to make the soda. So that's strike against French Quarter. There's not a lot of them, but that's what. Okay, they do. Both resorts have a pool bar. Now, okay, we're talking pools here. So no quiet pools at French Quarter. There are quiet pools at Riverside, but the feature pools smaller at French Quarter because the resort's smaller. However, Rick, you haven't stayed there, right? You said you haven't been there yet.
I have not stayed there. Yes, I've visited.
Okay. So this is one of the resorts though that, like, in a guidebook and also on our resort guides, the Magic for Less.
Yes.
Like,
the
like
pool.
when you see that slide, that sea serpent.
Yes.
You just want to, like, I remember, like, my first time I was like, I gotta stay there.
I know,
I gotta
right?
go down the tongue on that sea serpent. Like, that has got to be and it is pretty cool.
It
I'm just
is
saying, it's right on the Sassagoula River too. Like, you can see the river while you're swimming.
It is like equivalent to rest in peace, clown pool. You know what I'm saying? Like like it was like this pool and the clown pool were 2 of the pools that you immediately thought of when you thought of, Walt Disney World, because the slide is just so epic here. I mean, you're right. Who doesn't want to slide down the tongue of a lizard? I mean, that's the way it is, right? Yeah.
It's fun. And it's just, again, everything is that aqua, purple, yellows, gold.
Yeah.
It's a great, I will say both resorts are a great place for runners to get your run on, because you can run up and down the Sassagoula River, around Riverside, around French Quarter on those little streets early in the morning. It's great. So, how about recreation? Now, again, some of this we don't know. There's an arcade there, which that will probably reopen with the resort, I would imagine, because they're open other places. Carriage rides. Typically they had those. We'll see if those come back, bike rentals, stuff like that. And the jogging trail on the playground. So, and there's, also here's the step up. When you stay at a moderate, you get a hot tub.
Yes.
Over the use. That's something that discount. That feels good.
That part's nice.
So transportation, both resorts, bus everywhere except Disney Springs. Under normal circumstances, I'm sure the boat service will return from French Quarter and from Riverside. Typically there's a boat, it's not it's not a big boat. It's like a little pontoon boat that takes about 20 people at a time down to Disney Springs. But I will tell you what, hidden secret, this is a great ride. Like, even if you don't really want to go to Disney Springs, take the boat down and come back. It's awesome. You go by the tree houses, you go by, I just love how Disney Springs opens up on the water if you come from Old Key West or the Port Orleans resorts. It's beautiful. Also around sunset by those boats.
Oh, gosh, yes.
So one other pro tip for French Quarter, and I think this is the case because this is a big deal for us. It might not be for you guys. Is I recall French Quarter has ceiling fans. Am I not right, Pam? Does French Quarter have?
Right.
I think it does have ceiling fans.
Yes, you're right. It does have ceiling fans. So that's something that, is important. And some of the resorts have them, but some of the resorts, when they've redone them, they took the ceiling fans out. So if that's something that's important to you, it's absolutely something that you'll want to consider. The other thing is, I wanted to mention the kids' water play area in this resort was redone a couple years ago. It is fantastic, really and truly. To say that it's a really cool water play area for kids is not doing it justice at all. So that's worth checking out as well.
I'm trying to think at French Quarter, they do have a store. Yeah, it's right there on the right. You pass through the main building. It's on your right there. And it's got some little groceries. Even though it's not DVC, there are some little grocery items, but it's a pretty decent sized store. I'd say Riverside's a little bit bigger, but they're pretty comparable.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. So let's head over to Riverside, sister resort, just right down the way. And here's the thing too, big tip. If you stay at either one of these resorts, you're allowed. It is totally legal to go swim at either pool. That's a bonus. If you have kids and you're staying for a week, man, 2 pools, 2 feature pools, bonus. Also, before we leave French Quarter, Here's an advantage of French Quarter over Riverside. One bus stop.
Yes.
You just go to the bus stop and then you get on the bus and you're out of there. Riverside, there's 4 bus stops because it's big. It's like Caribbean Beach or Coronado Springs where you have to make a lap around the resort. Not really a big deal, but you know, some people like French Quarter because you only have 1 bus stop. And that's a good tip. Okay. Riverside. Should I read what it says about River? Oh, who wrote this? Because they're now look at what this one's titled for Riverside. The Romance of the South. I just said it was romantic. Okay, let's see what it says. Return to the charming days of riverboats and Mark Twain and discover this moderately priced resort. Courtly pillars, grand staircases, and splendid gardens blend with the Mississippi-style waterways and gracious southern hospitality. Mosey over to Alligator Bayou and discover its rustic architecture, front porches and meandering walkways, a stocked fishing hole, country-style pool, flowered fields, and 2-story cottages create the nostalgic romance of down-home charm. I know, right? You're ready to book your trip.
Right?
You're like, I got to go there.
Let's go.
I'm going to see Mark Twain. Exactly. Mark Twain's going to be shaking hands with Ben Franklin somewhere on this resort. It's like in the American Adventure. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, so real quick, Pam, when I say Riverside, what comes to mind right off the bat for this one?
Just the South, an southern, mansions and bayous. And again, we're going to see the moss hanging from the trees. I love the fact that this resort has 2 really distinct themes, right? You can stay in either the bayou rooms, which are more rustic themed, or you can stay in the mansion rooms, which are more mansion-y themed, right? I mean,
I like that.
Not really.
Yeah, like the Alligator Bayou, and I love, you've mentioned Spanish moss a couple of times, and I tell my wife this all the time on trips. I love Spanish moss because we don't have it here in the Midwest. And like when I used to drive, I would get amped up when I would start seeing Spanish moss on the trees in Georgia because I knew and then it would be like, I'd try to find the first palm tree and I'm like, okay, we're getting close. Like we're, Spanish moss and palm trees, like we're getting close. And I just think it is so, I know it's kind of a pesky thing and people don't like it, but it just, to me, it's like vacation. Like I love the way it looks, and it's all over the place at Riverside and French Quarter. But there's more trees and stuff at Riverside. But yeah, I would say you get 2 distinct feels at this resort, and I can't say I like one or the other. I think it's more of a practical aspect. So Pam, real quick, walk us through the differences besides just the aesthetics of more of rustic in Alligator Bayou, more majestic in the mansions. There are some distinct differences you need to think about for the 2 sections.
There are. So Riverside is actually one of the moderate resorts that can sleep up to 5 guests. And they do that by having a sort of pull down bed that sort of pulls down from this area under where they have mounted the TV. So instead of having a great big dresser at the foot of the beds or the wall opposite the foot of the beds, they actually have what just looks like a piece of furniture, has a handle on it you pull down, and basically a smaller twin size bed pulls down from that and you can lay there. There still is storage. They sort of supplement the storage by having it at different locations. You're probably going to lose a little bit of storage in that space, but one of the good things that you can use instead is above the closet area, there's a shelf and you'll have a space to put things there as well. So consider that. Again, you're going to have the choices of different room views. And that can be important. At different times, I advise guests, you know what? If you can, the difference between the standard and the garden is sometimes not that much. You might want to consider that difference just because there's something about looking out your window and looking on something that's really pretty, right? I like that. Again, you're going to have the exterior doors. You're still going to have, though, the vanity area separate from the shower and the toilet and the curtain that separates it again. And there is a storybook room here. There are the princess rooms, and these are Princess Tiana's room. Mm-hmm. She sort of leaves a note for each guest in the room via the table. You'll find it there. And these are the rooms that on the headboards, when you press the button, there are fireworks that go off on the headboards. It's this really cute scene from Princess and the Frog. There's going to be lots of Princess and the Frog nods in these rooms. And I think they're really cute. And again, this is a different type of room. So you book this type of room. And I think it's really worth it for a lot of people to look into this. They aren't that much more, and they're just over the top theming. Definitely worth checking out.
When I stay at Riverside with the family, I always book a royal guest room. That's what they're called. And so, because the fireworks are awesome. I mean, I'll be honest, like those, I push that button, Pam mentioned, I push that button, I tear it up. Like I'm just constantly like tough. It's so cool. Like just to see that when you're laying in bed I always say, I'm going to figure out how to do that at home, but then I get home and I forget about it. But the thing is too, here's another pro tip. Not only are you getting all those princess touches, like that looks like there's a magic carpet on the carpet.
Yes.
You know, the sink looks like it's the genie, the little lamp. There's just it's super cool if you're any kind of Disney fan, but they're also located in the center of the resort. So they're almost like a preferred location room on top of the princess theming. So it's kind of a bonus that you're not going to be way out in the boonies. If you book this, you're going to be in a prime location.
Yeah, so that's a great point too. And the other thing is in these rooms too, and this is so funny. So when these rooms first open, there are some silhouettes or some pictures of different princes, not princesses, princes. And they have their name there. And one of them is Prince Adam. Right? And that's the one that trips the most people up, because you may not know who Prince Adam is. And again, when Mike gives his choice at the end, I will tell you who Prince Adam is. So think about that.
That's very interesting because, I've heard sometimes that's not like real, but the fact that Disney actually
it's in the room.
It's in the room. I'm going to say it's real. So, okay. All right. That's interesting.
Here's the one that got me on my last trip when we stayed in a princess room. It would just said Paisley Park under it. And I was like, okay, Paisley Park. Think on that one for a few minutes. Okay. Ricky's too young. Okay. So I cracked myself up. Some of our listeners are laughing right now, and some are just like, okay, I don't get it either. So we got the fifth sleeper. That's a big bonus. If you got a family of 5, Riverside is the place to hang your head. Now, one other thing I want to mention, in the Alligator Bayou, which I didn't stay there forever because I'm such a fan of the mansions, but I did stay there during a Run Disney weekend, and it was really cool. Because really, when you're walking to those rooms at night, it's not scary, but it feels like you're like in the woods. It
does. You're in the bayou.
Right, you're going over like little bridges and stuff, or these little creeks, and there's woods. It's pretty sweet. But I will say, in those Alligator Bayou rooms, there is no elevator, and they're only 2 stories, but there is no elevator. And I've seen guests, and I don't recommend this, but I have seen guests chuck their luggage off the 2nd floor because there's no elevator. Don't do that. I'm just saying, like, don't do that. But there are no elevators in those buildings, just so you have a heads up. So if you need an elevator, request the mansions. That's something you don't think about, but it's just
that's true.
For sure. So Ricky, what else about Riverside stands out to you? Because we haven't talked about the food court, we haven't talked about transportation. Talk to us about some of that stuff.
Yeah, the food court is one of those great food courts that Disney has. Of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Yeehaw Bob. Hopefully he comes back. He obviously played at the River Roost Lounge there. So hopefully he will be back. I know that's such a small place though, so I don't know if he will yet or not, but hopefully he will. There's also a table service restaurant here. There is not one at French Quarter, but this one does have boat rights. Boat rights didn't get the best rap before COVID, so hopefully if it returns,
it's fine. I've eaten there a few times, and it's fine. It's not like a headliner restaurant, but I thought the food was fine. But again, I'm kind of just a regular guy. So
True. I just know that it wasn't always one of those places that people talked about. So
no, you didn't go from like Coronado Springs over to boat rides.
no, and I mean, there's definitely like restaurants at moderates that you go to for their,
exactly. But I liked it. It was
fun. So I don't know. Hopefully, maybe that changes as we move forward. But yeah, that's kind of the big things. Of course, there's a pool bar that they have as well. Now the pool here is not as it's not necessarily as exciting as sliding out of a sea serpent, lizard, whatever you want to call it. It's more of a like regular kind of pool.
It kind of reminds me, you know what it reminds me of, and I never went there, but it reminds me of like a river country slide. It's just kind of it's like a Huck Finn type feel. You see all the like above you when you're in this pool, there's all these almost looks like gutters that are kind of getting the water like from one place to the next, and it's leaking out, so you can drip on you while you're in the pool. But it's got that Mark Twain, like it does. I mean, it fits the theme very well. It's got that just like they just kind of threw it together kind of feel.
Yes,
and the slide is really cool too.
It is a good slide. Yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah. Of course, there's a hot tub. You have the arcade as well. Hopefully that will be coming back. A playground here too. A couple of the unique things that they have here, though, they do have. I mean, obviously, pre-COVID, they had the horse-drawn carriage rides here. Mm-hmm. They also had Surrey bike rentals here, and bike rentals. And then they had the fishing hole, which is kind of a really cool little thing that they had. Not many resorts can you say you can go fishing at the resort, and it's like old-timey fishing. You fish with a cane pole. I mean, it's like, how often can you say you get to do that? So that is kind of cool too. And they have campfires on the bayou, movies under the stars too. So this resort, it's just, they have a lot of great recreation. That hopefully a lot of it comes back, when the resort actually opens. But it was always one of those resorts where if you stayed there, you wanted to make sure you spent time at the resort because you wanted to be able to experience some of the recreational options that they had.
Right. And again, a great food court with lots of good options, even for the picky eater, but also, there's some, obviously these resorts have like French Quarter has beignets. There's like good Southern, I think Cracker Barrel, but a little nicer kind of foods, like fried, like country fried steak, stuff like that at the food court. Biscuits in the morning, with various kinds of combinations with what you're going to get on the biscuit. But it's just it's a fun place to stay with a nice store, arcade. This one, as you walk around French Quarter, you're going to hear jazz music playing. As you walk around Riverside, as I recall, there's no background music playing because it's so big. It's more, if you're in Alligator Bayou, you kind of hear crickets. I don't think there is any background music, Pam, is there? I mean, am I missing that? But it's too big. It's too spread out.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it seems like at different places when you're around the resort, you're going to hear like, I'm always like, where's that speaker? Because like at different times, it just seems like it's coming, I don't know, from wherever, from the sky. Definitely around the pool, you're going to hear some good music. And I remember sitting by the pool one day and thinking, you know what, this background loop is just so appropriate for this resort. And it was just a lot of, really cool kind of jazz music from that point in time. So, but you're right. I'm not sure that there is one down there by the mansions.
But here's the thing, like Riverside has a lot of ambient sounds anyway. Like Ricky mentioned with the horse-drawn carriages, when they have those, even if you're not a person who's on the carriage enjoying that, what I enjoy is I could be on the other side of the river over at the mansions and I hear the clip clop of the horse. Mm-hmm. And like, I mean, that is just, I think that takes you perfectly to where you are in that resort, hearing the hooves, the horseshoes.
Yeah.
Clip clop. Mm-hmm. I love that. It's just like, I'm always taking pictures of it. Like, I'm like, because the thing is, if you're over by your room in the mansions and it's, the horse-drawn carriage is going on that other side towards French Quarter, you got the river in front of you. And don't discount the Sassagoula River. We mentioned that for a second. It's a brown river. It's not the most pretty color, but it works. It's supposed to be like big muddy. It's like Mississippi. And it's when you get up super early in the morning before they start running the boats, it's flat as glass. Cause I run real early, sometimes before the sun comes up, and right at sunrise, you can get some amazing Riverside. I tell people that stay there, it's like staying in a postcard, because if you get up at sunrise at Riverside and you're a picture person, like you're a photo bug, likes to take pictures, get a picture of the Sassagoula at sunrise when it's flat as a pancake. It's like glass. And then the cool thing about Riverside is that they have these bridges. There's a few bridges that get you over the Sassagoula. They're so cool looking. They're like old trestle bridges, and they just pop in pictures. This resort, more than any, Pam, I mean, French Quarter the same because of the colors, but this one, it's more the architecture as to why I take pictures.
100%. And you have that huge paddle wheel going there by the food court. They have that sort of gristmill, like a faux gristmill sort of going with the wheel there, the water wheel. That's so awesome. They also have this great big, looks like a water tower, right? That had at Riverside as well. It is. I agree with you, Mike. Like that area is so easily photographed. You get some great pictures through there. And in addition, by the pool area, there are these huge old trees there. There's even one where there's like a story there for that tree. Again, they have a great playground for kids near that area too. But there are just some gorgeous pictures throughout that whole area at both sides of the resorts. It really does lend itself to some awesome photo opportunities.
So it's strange because, as we wrap this up, and that's kind of just to get you some, I know a lot of us have stayed there, but it's been out of the, both these hotels have been not an option here for the past, couple of years. So we want to kind of remind you of what they have and what what you might want to consider on your next trip. But the thing about them is neither one have a lot of Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck. They really don't have any. They do have the princess rooms at Riverside. And the thing is, I think a lot of folks who are going to Disney are like, I don't think I could stay there because I'm going to Walt Disney World because I want to see Mickey Mouse. But I think once you give it a chance, maybe not on your first trip, but maybe it is your first trip, you're like, I was in a totally different place, and not only a different place, but I was in a different time period. I felt like things slowed down for a little bit. And it's weird how the environment can make you mentally kind of reset. Because when I'm at both of these resorts, I totally feel like I'm not in 2021 in the fast-paced world. Yeah. At least while I'm there, take a resort day. Ricky mentioned that. Yeah. If you're going to stay at these resorts that are fun, don't just sleep there and shower there. Spend time there. So that's kind of it for Ricky. Any final thoughts for you on these two resorts?
Well, I just wanted to share, because I don't think we mentioned the resorts. Both of them are reopening in October. Riverside should be the 14th of October, and French Quarter should be the 28th of October. Of course, these dates can change, but that should be where we're at. So we're close enough. I feel like that's probably going to happen. So I just wanted to share that they're actually opening up really, really soon. So they're great resorts to stay at. Again, French Quarter is still on my bucket list. So, I really need to make sure that I get over there sooner rather than later. It's a great resort. I love visiting it. And Riverside, again, another great, fantastic, like we've kind of reiterated, romantic resort. I feel like is just, I think both of these resorts scream romance, to be perfectly honest. So, these resorts are just fantastic and so well done and so well themed. And Disney, not everything has to have Disney on it, but
right. That's the whole thing is, but you until you've stayed a few times, you kind of it's hard to get past that. So okay, here's what I'm picking French Quarter just because I haven't stayed there in quite a while. I've always picked Riverside, so I'm with Ricky. I'm going to go to French Quarter. However, I'm going to get my Coke Zeros. I'm getting my Coke Zeros on Riverside's food court because I don't want to deal.
That sounds about
and right. I'll swim over at the what's it called, the big the hole. What's the pool called? Riverside.
Old Man Island.
Yeah, I'm swimming in the pool bar is called Muddy Waters.
Yes.
So I'm going to stay at French Quarter, go down the Serpent's Tongue.
Got it.
I'm getting a beignet. This is why you want to stay at these resorts. Think about all the stuff you can do. I can stay at French Quarter, have a ceiling fan. I can go down the Sea Serpent's Tongue. I can go get a pack of beignets. They're Mickey shaped, by the way.
And some of them do have alcohol in them.
Well, yeah, they do. But I'm not. I'm just getting them straight.
Just
extra
throw it out
powdered
there.
sugar, put them in the bag, shake them up with the extra powdered sugar. Then I'm getting my freestyle, or not my freestyle, my regular Coke Zero from a normal Coke machine where I don't have to wait 20 minutes behind an 8-year-old. I'm going to go to Muddy Waters, get a margarita, and swim in Old Man Island, and maybe
Good-
catch a fish.
Good
Who
call.
knows? I probably won't catch
Wow.
a fish.
That's a
All
lot.
right, so that's where I'm doing. Okay, Pam, close it out. Tell us what your final thoughts and what's the deal with Adam. And Ricky
Okay.
still doesn't know the Paisley
I
Park thing
know
on
who
the
Prince
show.
Adam is.
Prince Adam is actually the Beast from Beauty and the
Correct.
Beast.
Exactly.
So-
See, I knew that.
Yeah, I know, right? So you don't really remember that. And I think that these resorts are really some beloved resorts, right? French Quarter in particular has a huge fan base of people who are just enamored with this resort. I think because it is the smallest resort. And there are definitely benefits to that. If you have mobility issues or things like that, it's just easier to navigate. So I know that there will be so many people glad to see this, these resorts open back up. And the great news is that you're going to be able to stay there during the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary, which of course starts October 1st and goes for 18 months.
So exciting.
I know, right? It is so exciting. It's really exciting. I think that either of these resorts is a good choice. It really is. Coronado, of course, gets a lot of publicity right now because it has the towers, and that's the newest part of that resort. And it has some great dining locations. And Caribbean Beach, of course, gets a lot of publicity because it is a Skyliner resort.
Correct.
It's right there on the Skyliner, and it's a big resort. But don't discount Port Orleans. I know that these are some of the favorites of many guests, and I think it absolutely is worth checking out if that is a possibility for you.
Now, see here, and again, I say this all the time. Everybody's like, what's your favorite resort? So right now, man, I'm so fired up. It's Port Orleans. Which one? I don't care. I'm so fired up.
Doesn't matter.
Just put me there. I don't care. Yeah, but that's
What's your
that's
favorite Disney resort? The resort you stayed at last, or the
Right.
resort you talked about last.
the last one I stayed at. That's exactly
Yes,
right.
exactly.
Well, here's the thing too. You can book these, you can book these rooms right now. You don't have to wait till mid-October to do this. We can get you set up with that. So again, as we wrap today's show up, happy Friday, by the way. This show always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. So swing by. We've been using the resort guides. Just go to the top of the page where it says Walt Disney World. Then click on resorts, pick your resort, look at the pictures, the room layouts. Like right now, I'm looking at the room layout where it shows you where the beds are located, where the tables and the chairs are, and the bathroom and the bathtub and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff's important when you're thinking about how you're going to logistically handle your vacation. All the information's there. So check it out. Talk to the family. Say, hey, we want to stay in one of these royal guest rooms. That sounds like fun for our next trip. Check it out. Maybe you want to go to French Quarter and listen to some jazz music and eat beignets. Nothing wrong with that. Any other resort you want to stay, we can handle that too. So drop by themagicforless.com, fill out that quote form. We'll take great care of you and we'll get you set up for that magical Disney vacation for no extra cost to you. So check it out today over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. One extra click means a lot to us. Again, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And also thank you so very much to our patrons for allowing us to put the show out there 3 to 4 times a week all around the world. We couldn't do it without you. And we appreciate your support so much. If you'd like a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest, just drop by patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give us a call this Sunday night. It's you, me, and Scotty G on Facebook and YouTube. Join us at 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern at that location, Facebook and YouTube, and give us a call. We'll be talking Disney with you. All right, it's time to, we forgot our social media. Be Our Guest Mike, at Ricky Nibs, at TMFLT Pam. Look for us in the Magic for Less Travel on Instagram is a good follow as well. Lots of great stuff there. So until we get back together again on Monday, for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
Hey.
Sneeze again.
Mike's gonna sneeze.
It's my clothes. I'm gonna sneeze on the clothes.
Don't do
Let's
that.
tape this real quick. All right, well, those were good shows. That worked.
They were good
Yay.
shows.
They were.
I love
right.
the Portland sports. All right, I'm out.
See
We'll
ya.
see you next week.
Bye.
I'm not even getting Taco Bell tonight. All right,
What?
see ya.
you
Because
say
I had so much at the party. I'm not
Oh,
hungry because
yeah.
I had
Oh,
a party. So
okay.
yeah, just gonna
Wow.
eat something
They're
here.
All right,
pigs
you
outside
broke
playing.
tradition.
I know, right? Yes.
I know they'll be missing me. All right, see you guys.